What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Pinfalls and Playbooks podcast, episode 8. As always, I'm your host, Faiz Kabir, alongside joining me, my co-host, Fardan Khan. And we are in our 8th episode on the road to episode 10, which is exciting, the Big 10. But as always, this week, we're going to be talking about the week in sports. We're going to be talking about our week in wrestling. It's not really that much lively in the sports section, a little bit in the wrestling section as we're leading up to Clash in Paris.
Yep.
But for the sports section, the big thing is that we are leading up to next week, which is the beginning of the NFL season. Finally.
It's the most exciting time of the year.
Exactly. We've been waiting for this ever since Super Bowl, to be honest.
Pretty much. There was a tough 6 months without football.
Definitely. It always is.
Yeah, for sure.
But let's start off with this week in sports with our MLB recap.
Yeah, so obviously the main sport that's going on a consistent basis right now is the MLB. As you all know, Yankee fan till I die. Last week, they had played the Red Sox at home and they got spanked.
Yeah.
It was abysmal. Every single game.
We talked about it last episode where you felt like the Yankees definitely needed to win at least 3 out of the 4.
Yes, I remember. And they lost 3 out of the 4.
Yeah.
That's cliche to me, isn't it? Like, game 1, it was a close battle. They had Max Fried on the mound. Not the Max Fried on the mound. Who did they have on the mound? I forgot who. It was a closely, knit game. Eventually, they gave up a home run at the end to Roman Anthony. And they lost the game, I believe, 6-3.
Yep.
Second game, I don't know. They did have Max Fried on the mound.
Yep.
But the offense just disappeared. This is the problem with the New York Yankees. They'll show up against really bad teams,
right?
But they'll do nothing against really good teams. Especially when you're fighting for a playoff positioning, you need to show up. Anthony Volpe was terrible. The whole defense was just a little questionable. And obviously the bats disappeared. So...
Yeah.
There's no in between. Saturday, they got absolutely...
What was it, 12-1?
It was 12-1. Terrible defense. And it was an embarrassing thing. Saturday matinee game, you show up like that, like it's crazy. Obviously, Sunday, the bats did show up. They hit some home runs, and they ended up winning the game. But they lost 3 out of the 4, which jeopardizes their
positioning.
Exactly, for a home wild card game, because I don't think they're going to win the division.
I can't. I don't see
And then all of a sudden they play the Nationals and they decided to be the Bronx Bombers again, hitting bombs everywhere.
Right, and we're recording this on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So today they were playing the Nationals and
they won 12-1. They were hitting home run. Everybody basically hit a home run.
Right after another. I think it was Judge and then Bellinger.
Yeah, they went back to back. Rice hit a home run. Grisham hit a home run. Wells hit a home run.
Dominguez hit a big double that bounced.
Yeah. You show up against really bad teams, but that's not the point here. The point here is to show up against good teams, play well, pitch well, play good defense. But I don't know, man.
All right, and then we can talk about what's going on the other side, the NL, which is the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, so they actually went up in the NL West division standings, but then they lost the last game and they ultimately tied it. But then the Padres, I believe they lost a couple of games after that. So the Dodgers are back in
the lead again.
In the lead again. It's going to be... I think that division is going
to
come down to the wire, and ultimately, I think the Padres have a weaker schedule,
right?
If I'm not mistaken,
but it all depends on their bullpen play.
That's also the case because we know that the Dodgers, their pitching is starting to become healthy. Pretty much everybody's back.
Yeah.
Blake Snell is back. Glasnow is back. Yamamoto's still there. Otani's pitching.
They're getting loaded. They're getting ready. Like they're basically like warming up to October.
Pretty much. So the Padres just need to be consistent.
Yeah.
Some of their pitchers need to come back healthy. Michael King needs to come back. Yu Darvish is already there. Dylan Cease needs to be Dylan Cease of old. And we haven't really seen that, especially in the playoffs. So if they can keep it up, I see them beating the Dodgers, bro. They could end up beating the Dodgers.
For sure.
You know? Obviously, MLB Awards is coming up soon, and we're going to discuss who we think should win MVP.
As of right
now. I think because he hasn't played as frequently,
I think Judge lost that position.
I think Aaron Judge is going to be second behind Cal Raleigh.
Cal Raleigh
is 50 home runs, most by a catcher ever. And there's a possibility. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there's a high.
What are you talking about? The school?
No. I'm talking about Cal Raleigh.
Okay.
He has an opportunity to break Judge's record of 62 home runs with approximately a month.
That'd be insane as a catcher.
Oh yeah, especially a switch hitter too, because he can do it from both, and he's good from both sides of the plate too. So I think Cal Raleigh is going to win the MVP on the AL side. AL Cy Young,
I agree.
It's going to be Tarek Skubal. The only person that I see catching him is Garrett Crochet on the Red Sox.
Depending how he ends the season.
Yeah, but ultimately, I think Tarek Skubal is going to end up winning it.
I agree both on the AL side with you.
AL Rookie of the Year, I haven't really focused on that much Rookie of the Years, but Nick Kurtz on the Oakland A's, he's been performing really well.
Oh, the A's actually have a good player.
Yeah, and he's good. He's really good too. Yeah. On the NL side, NL MVP, it's probably going to be Shohei.
It's got to be Shohei.
The only other person that I can really consider is Kyle Schwarber because he's been killing it.
He has been killing it.
But other than that, obviously I had hopes for Tatis. I had hopes maybe for, obviously people are talking about Juan Soto winning it, but he hasn't really performed that great.
I think it's going to be Shohei, no question, because of, he starts pitching again, and if he's been looking good again as pitching. So, it's just a given at this point where he might win it.
And then we have the NL Cy Young. It's probably going to be Paul Skeens. The only thing is, I'm not a fan of giving an award of that caliber to somebody that doesn't have the win record. But the Pirates are completely ass. So I don't blame him for,
This goes back to, in my opinion, when it comes to that stuff, it goes back to, when the NBA MVP conversations, where it's can you really give it to a player that's, horrible and their team is bad? But they're putting up so many good stats.
Yeah, but if you think about it, I don't remember in recent times that somebody...
That ever happened as a Cy Young winner? Has every Cy Young winner been winning on a winning team? I don't think so.
Garrett Cole won in 2023 and the Yankees were super mid. But they had a winning record.
They had a winning record.
And he had a winning record himself. But the thing about Paul Skeens is his win-loss record doesn't reflect the pitcher he actually is. The Pittsburgh Pirates are just... They're just the second worst franchise behind the Colorado Rockies.
And the thing is, the Pittsburgh Pirates are going to be one of those teams where they're going to have to pray in the draft where they finally get somebody that's going to change their franchise, because Paul Skeens is going to change it on the pitching side, but it's not a...
They also have...
You can't win a game by just pitching.
They also have some pitchers coming up prospect-wise. They didn't have Jared Jones this season. O'Neal Cruz, he's a great player to build around. It's just the ownership group, they're just a terrible ownership group. So,
but everyone's been saying that for years with the Pirates. There's just not a good ownership. It is what it is, but that's what I think is going down in the MLB awards. That's pretty much for the MLB recap. As always, again, we're on the road to the playoffs. That's the main
road to October.
That's the main push for right now. But let's talk about the other exciting thing is the beginning of the NFL season, which is next week. We're starting that next Thursday. I believe it's the Cowboys and the Eagles in the first game.
Yeah, we just wrapped the preseason. A lot of good signs, a lot of questionable signs. But
a lot of interesting moves in the last week. There have been some, Amari Cooper, for example, is back with the Raiders. Adam Thielen's back with the Vikings. These guys are having reunions for their at the end of the year, which is kind of funny. Brandon Cooks is back with the Saints.
Oh, man.
So it's 2015 all over again, to be honest.
Pretty much, yeah.
But what the thing is now we're going to kind of talk about our little predictions going into the NFL season beginning right now. So we're going to talk about the division.
We're going to go division by division, and we're going to pick the division winners.
Yeah.
And then based off of that, we'll do our playoff predictions.
Exactly. And we're going to
Super Bowl predictions.
And the idea is we're going to do this like a bracket style where we think it's going to just be these are the teams we're going to think is going to be in the championship. We're not going to go by divisional game because that's a little too much. We'll just go what we think is going to be the division winners. Then we'll go to our championship teams that we're thinking, and then we're Super Bowl. All right, so first let's start off in the AFC.
Yeah, we have the AFC East because we're both AFC East fans. I think it's for certain, barring some horrible injury, it's going to be the Buffalo Bills.
I agree too. As much as I have upside for the Patriots and how much they have been looking good, we just signed Tommy DeVito, which is I don't know why we're having Mr. Cutlets come into New England, but that's going to be funny. He's going to be our third string anyway. So
who's your second string?
Josh Dobbs.
Oh, okay.
Which is a solid backup that I would always like to have. So, but overall, I think the Buffalo Bills are winning the division. Yeah. Let's talk about the AFC South.
I think it's going to be the Texans.
You think it's going to be the Texans?
Who else? It's the Texans, Titans, Jaguars, and Colts. Bro, it's got to be the Texans. That's the
thing. It's just the Jaguars aren't ready. The Colts,
they have no
quarterback.
Daniel Jones. We don't necessarily believe in Daniel Jones.
And the Titans, they're very interesting.
Okay, so here's why they're interesting. They have a good defense.
Yes, they do.
Everything's gonna fall on Cam Ward.
100%.
At the end of the day,
I think it's gonna fall on Cam Ward and him being able to get the ball to the receivers.
If Brian Callahan,
he's a good play caller.
He's a good play caller. If he can unlock his potential, which he has the potential to do
it. Yeah, we've seen him do it before with other quarterbacks.
Watch out for the Tennessee Titans. Maybe not this year, but in the next few years, if they start building around Cam Ward,
right?
they could probably make some noise.
I
but
totally
for this
agree.
season,
Yeah.
I think the Houston Texans.
I think the Houston Texans too, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Titans do make a weird run.
Yeah.
Like a Texans-esque run 2 years ago when they had CJ Stroud as a rookie.
I got you, yeah.
So
I agree.
But let's talk about the other two divisions. All right,
so we got the AFC North?
Yep.
Okay.
Very interesting.
I think the AFC North is the second most interesting division behind the NFC East.
Honestly, I think any team can win that division.
Except for the Browns. So here's the thing. I'm going to pick the Ravens because I believe in Lamar Jackson. They have Derrick Henry.
Yep.
They have John Harbaugh.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, if Lamar goes, the team goes.
And the thing is, what sucks is like last year could have been it. And I'm not blaming Mark Andrews. Okay, it is what it is. Mark Andrews has been solid for the Ravens forever, so it just happens. And the thing is, I think this is the year where they're going to try to get over that hump. So, and I think right now in Vegas, the odds are the Ravens are the winning Super Bowl right now.
Wait till you hear my AFC West prediction.
Okay, so but like I agree, it's going to be the Ravens.
I agree too.
So let's talk about
AFC West. Are you ready for this one?
Yeah.
I think that the Los Angeles Chargers are going to win the division this year.
See, like every year we have a fucking like we think the Chargers are going to do something. It's because we think Justin Herbert can get to that next level.
But the thing is, they never gave him enough weapons to do it. Now obviously he has a fucking aging Keenan Allen back.
Right, but they signed Keenan Allen back because of the seniority. They
got Mike Williams back,
which is. Like, what is that?
You're running back the whole team just a lot older with Ladd McConkey.
Ladd McConkey's honestly their best receiver.
I think if they could put it all together, their defense is really good.
Who's their running back now?
They have two good running backs. They have Omarion Hampton and Najee Harris.
On the Chargers?
Yeah.
Oh. Wait, Omarion Hampton's on the Chargers?
Yeah.
I thought he was on the Browns for some reason.
That's Quinshon Judkins.
Which he's not on the Browns. He actually didn't get signed.
Well, not yet.
Yeah, but okay.
Omarion Hampton's on the Chargers.
Okay, interesting.
So I think the Chargers and a close second is going to be the Denver Broncos. I think the Chiefs are going to regress like crazy this year.
So
watch I say that. And
I think the Denver Broncos are going to win the division.
Mm-hmm.
But I think also the Chiefs are going to make a wild card because they're the Chiefs. And it's Patrick Mahomes. Like, you can never count him out, and I never will ever doubt him because he's still the best quarterback in the league.
I agree, yeah.
Which is, it doesn't matter because when you have the best quarterback in the league, you're going to win. So we don't agree on this. You have the Chargers and I have the Broncos winning, but I think we both do agree that the Chiefs are going to be in the wild card at least. Or you might not think that.
Because you have, obviously, the Bengals, if they could get their defensive shit together. Then you'll have the Chargers and or Broncos and or Chiefs. That's one. And then
the Raiders, like
it'll be because here's the thing: the wild card's gonna be 5, 6, 7, right? Yeah. So if you think about it, you'll have the Bills, Ravens, Texans. Let's just say Broncos for the hell of it, as the division winners. You'll have the Chiefs and Chargers. So yeah, and then potentially the Bengals.
Yeah.
So and even anything can happen.
I know.
AFC, so.
AFC is always a toss up, but I do think that. This year, the AFC West is going to be one of the most competitive divisions this year.
I agree. They have so many prominent head coaches in that division where it's going to be super.
They're all those head coaches are all a name, which is going to be interesting because let's see how it goes. But let's switch over to the NFC.
You got the NFC East. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to run it back.
Oh, you're claiming championship already?
No.
All right, so yeah, I think if Philadelphia Eagles are definitely going to win that division.
It's going to be
no question.
It's going to be the first time somebody won back-to-back NFC East titles in years.
Bro. That's crazy,
bro. They had no repeat division winners since I think the early 2000s, which is crazy.
But yeah, we agree. Eagles.
All right. NFC South. NFC South is, in my opinion, the worst. AFC South.
Yeah.
NFC South is very interesting because the Falcons, they're ready to move to the next level. The Buccaneers are the Buccaneers still.
Yeah.
The Panthers, they're up and coming, but I don't think they're ready yet. And then the Saints are extremely trash.
Yeah.
I think if they could put it together, I think the Falcons are going to win the division.
You think the Falcons? Okay. See, I think for that, it depends on Michael Penix.
Yeah.
It's for sure. We know what Bijan's going to do. Well, if the coach doesn't fuck him.
That's true.
He's done it before.
Yep.
But if the coach lets Bijan play and he works with Michael Penix this offseason and we see it progressing this year, yeah, I can definitely see the Falcons doing it. I don't know if I'm gonna go with the Falcons. I don't.
You go with the Bucks?
I'm gonna go with the Bucks because of Baker Mayfield has so many weapons now.
Yo, if you're a fantasy player this year, watch out for Baker Mayfield. He's gonna be the biggest steal of the draft in terms of
he's gonna be a good quarterback this year because Baker. It's so crazy the story with Baker Mayfield because people counted him out. Then he became a journeyman for a little bit, and then
he found his home.
He found his home.
Yeah.
And the Buccaneers, he's just winning games. Like people, I know for sure people in Tampa love Baker Mayfield because of his play, because of his energy, and whatever it is. But the Buccaneers, they have a lot of good weapons, and
their defense is pretty good.
Their defense is solid. But I've been telling Farhan over the past few weeks where I have this inkling about the Panthers. So I'm a big fan of last year of seeing Bryce Young. Bryce Young got very good at the end of the year.
Showed up at the end of the year.
And I was happy. I was so happy to see Bryce Young because I always liked seeing Bryce Young in college. And I know a lot of people thought this was a bad number one pick.
It's because of his height.
Because of his height and everything. He just needed to adjust. Yeah. And he's one of those players where people compared him to Drew Brees because of his arm, his accuracy, and his size, basically. He showed signs of it towards the end of the year. But the thing is, he plays on a Panthers team, which doesn't really have the weapons. They had a good running back who showed up last year, Chuba Hubbard. He had a breakout year. We're going to see what they're going to do with Xavier Legette because he's basically their top receiver right now, I believe. So Panthers, I don't know how it's going to be. I just have a weird feeling that I'm just a Bryce Young fan. I want to see them do well. So that's why I think the Panthers could possibly make a wild card based on their play. But it all depends how they start the season off, I think, for sure. They got to set the tone. And you know who the Panthers kind of remind me of where I think they can go a run on? Because I think their defense is kind of solid, too. I think their defense is solid.
Yeah.
So that's why I think they're going to have that 2015-16 run of the Jacksonville Jaguars where they had Blake Bortles.
It was 2017.
Right, 2017, where they had Blake Bortles. They had Miles Jack. Remember Miles Jack? And they had Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
So, that's what this kind of team vibe gives me. But you get Blake Bortles. You had Blake Bortles on that team, but Bryce Young's a bigger upgrade than Blake Bortles.
This guy, Tora McMillan's going to have 100.
And Tet is going to get the ball like crazy. So that's why I feel like you have Tet and Xavier. Those are going to be your two guys going forward with Bryce Young as your core.
Yeah.
It's going to be very interesting.
And Chuba Hubbard's not a scrub either.
And Chuba Hubbard's not a scrub. So that's why I think the Panthers are a good wild card for this year, depending on their play. So let's go to the next division.
It's got to be their coaching also.
Yeah, for sure.
So we got the NFC North. This is an interesting division because
very interesting.
All four teams on paper are really good.
Yeah.
But
who are you going with?
I'm going with the Packers.
So I am not going with the Packers. I'm going with the Chicago Bears.
Stop it.
I'm going with Caleb Williams this year, trying to have a big breakout year. I think Caleb Williams.
I think the Bears are going to do really good this season.
So here's a prediction I'm going to have this year. It's kind of crazy. I think Caleb Williams is going to have an MVP-esque year. And that's because, same thing with Bryce Young. He progressed at the end of the year. He looked better. And I think Caleb Williams needed some time to adjust the NFL game because once he adjusts, now he can be himself.
And now he has the coach.
Now he has the coach that's going to definitely allow him to be himself because that coach basically made, he did a lot of college playbook in his career. So Caleb Williams thrived off the college playbook. Yeah. And I think the coach is definitely going to make that playbook around him. And they got some good weapons on that team now. I think the Bears are definitely have a chance. That's why I think the Bears are going to win that division, in my opinion.
Okay. So that's a bold prediction right there.
I got two young teams going up in this NFC. I really think so.
No, it's good. I want to see the young guns get their opportunity.
And then let's talk about the last division.
NFC. This is the most interesting division, in my opinion. Because you have the Seahawks.
You have the Niners.
Cardinals.
And the Niners,
right? Cardinals... We'll see.
I don't know. It's so up and up with them.
It's crazy. The Niners, they lost a lot of pieces. They're aging.
Yep.
I will get into this in my sideline heel take, but Brock Purdy, I don't believe in him. I'm gonna roll with the Rams, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Rams as well.
But Matthew Stafford needs to be healthy.
That team is definitely dependent on Matthew Stafford and also their defense. They have Jared Verse, who's one of the best players in the league already, in my opinion.
And they have a top 5 tandem in the wide receiver score.
For sure.
Probably top 3.
Yeah. Devontae Adams, he is aging, but
is he still Devontae Adams?
He's still Devontae Adams. And Puka Nacua,
He's basically the younger version of Davante Adams.
Right, and with him like having Cooper Kupp out of there, it's going to free him up a lot more, even in the slot route.
Yeah, because they'll put Davante on the outside. It makes it easy.
And he's deadlier in the slot.
Yeah.
So that's why I think the Rams are definitely going to win that division. So let's talk about our AFC Championship prediction.
All right, I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens.
Yep.
And the Buffalo Bills, to be honest.
I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills for sure. And I'm going to go with the Bengals.
Okay.
I think the Bengals are going to get there somehow. And I think, obviously, I didn't pick them to win their division, but I think somehow they're going to go on that wild card run and make it to the championship game. But I got the Buffalo Bills and I got the Bengals. And who do you think is going to make it out of your two?
I think the Ravens finally.
You think they get to that Super Bowl?
I think the Ravens are going to go to the Super Bowl this year.
All right. And I think it's going to be the Buffalo Bills this year. I think they're going to get over that hump. I think Josh Allen's finally going to get to that level where he wants to be. And the only reason why I think he's going to get there is because he's not facing Patrick Mahomes in the NFC Championship game. The AFC Championship game. Because when he does, he loses. Yeah. He's just going to lose because Patrick Mahomes just has something where he wins these games. But with Josh Allen not being able to face Patrick this year, because we both do think the Chiefs are going to regress, I think he's going to face Joe Burrow. And the thing is with Joe Burrow, it's very like iffy 50-50 in this championship games because it's all going to be dependent if Jamar Chase can get open and get into that open space.
Also T. Higgins as well.
And T. Higgins as well. But I do think the Buffalo Bills are going to overwhelm them, and I think they're going to make it to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
All right, let's jump over to the NFC.
Are you ready for this one?
Let's do it.
I got the Rams.
Okay.
I got the Packers.
Yeah, the Rams and Packers.
Yeah.
All right.
I think the only reason why I'm not going to say the Eagles is because their defense, a lot of their players aren't no longer there. And I think as the season progresses, they'll start out really strong, but I think they'll start unraveling at the end. They'll still have the offensive numbers because they have basically all their offensive players back. But on the defensive side, they're going to struggle. And the Rams almost exposed them last year before it started snowing.
So we'll talk about we quickly just glanced over the Detroit Lions. We haven't talked about them because we both think that the Detroit Lions are not going to be what they are anymore.
No.
And that's because of obviously they lost all of their play callers.
Yep.
And I feel like this is going to be the year where Dan Campbell is going to be like, all right, is he really a coach or not?
No.
So, and the thing is, like, Dan Campbell, like, he's known as like a rally coach, like he's a player's coach.
I think they'll still make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to go far.
No.
I think they're going to go out in the division. So, in the divisional, in my opinion. But I'm going to go with the Eagles in the championship game because of just Saquon Barkley, honestly. It's like, everyone always has this, like, conspiracy where running backs have, like, a short period of, like, greatness. Saquon Barkley is literally he's literally like not showing any sign of regressing.
He's got at least another 4 or 5 years of prime left.
And that's crazy for a running back based on how many years he's already been in the league.
Yeah.
That's why, because I think he's a different breed. Saquon is that new generation of running backs that you'll never see again. I think he's gonna be an all-time great running back in my opinion. He's gonna be at like the top 5.
Yeah.
And that's why I think with his play and the offensive line in the Eagles, I think they're gonna make it to the championship game. And I think they're gonna be facing. I think it's going to be the Rams. Like we said, it all depends on Matthew Stafford's play, and it depends on Puka Nacua and Davante Adams showing why they're one of the best wide receiver duos in the league. But ultimately, I do think the winner of the championship game is going to be the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to make it back to the Super Bowl.
So it's going to be a Bills-Eagles Super Bowl?
I think it's going to be the Bills-Eagles Super Bowl.
I think it's going to be a Ravens-Rams Super Bowl.
It's going to be a Ravens-Rams Super Bowl. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Where's the Super Bowl? It's in Santa Fe. So it's basically going to be a Rams home game if that happens.
Yeah. So, and then I guess we'll go with our prediction now, like for the Super Bowl.
I think the Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl this year.
And I think it's going to be the Buffalo Bills. Again, I think this time, we both think it's going to be an AFC team. And basically we think the Ravens and the Buffalo Bills, they're ready to make that jump. It's either now or never for both of these teams, which is kind of hard to say because it's like they've been teetering on the winning that division, winning that Super Bowl, just getting to that hump for so long. And the thing is, like, I hope, like, it's weird because I want both of these quarterbacks to win the Super Bowl, Lamar and Josh Allen. But for my opinion, I think it's bigger on Lamar's legacy to get that Super Bowl.
Since the 2-time NFL MVP.
He's a 2-time MVP. If he wins a Super Bowl, he could arguably be going into like the top 10 because of his talent and of his caliber.
And if you think about it, the times that he's made it to the playoffs, it wasn't because of him that they lost.
Right. And
he definitely deserves it.
And the thing is with Josh Allen, the other side is he just can't beat that one person.
Yeah,
he will beat everybody else.
He will outperform, but his defense just unravels against that one person.
And that's why I think the only way he will get to that hump is if he doesn't face Patrick Mahomes. I hate to say that because like I never want to say like a player can't beat someone, but like we've just seen it time and time again where it's just like, what else are we gonna like? That's nothing for us to expect, is that?
I agree. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's basically our sports recap for this week, and we're on a push to the NFL season starting next week. Our next episode we'll be talking about our week 1 predictions.
Yep.
So stay tuned for that. That's going to be a great time for Sports Week. All right, guys. Now it's time for our wrestling recap this week. We're going to start off with Monday Night Raw, which recently passed. They were live from England, and as always, these European crowds are insane. They're ready to basically chant their crowds out. They're making Americans look weak every time we go there.
It's so like, I don't know if I want to use sad. It's so shameful.
Yeah.
It's one of these negative words that describe like the level of fandom that's in the WWE.
And the thing is, like,
universe
and it's crazy. Like in Europe in general, or anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, like even in Australia,
even when they like go to like these India shows, like, I've seen they've been going crazy. I just don't like how it's starting to look like where it's like it's gonna be like where WWE wants to like do their big shows in Europe.
Listen, man, if they ever do a WrestleMania in like London or
it's gonna be insane. It's gonna be insane.
And
the thing is, like, it's gonna be probably the biggest like event they can ever do, because where else would they do it? Is Wembley.
Yeah,
and they can get 100,000 in there,
and they have so much people coming in from so many different countries in Europe. They'll also have the Canadian, all the Americans. They'll all fly to London. You know? Will they do it? Let's see.
We'll see. Know. All right, so let's start off with the Raw recap, and the beginning of the show start off with Roman Reigns coming out to the crowd. Crowds love Roman Reigns, serenading him. Basically, they're building a match between Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed at Clash in Paris. It was just a typical Roman promo where he's basically saying like, "I'm gonna beat your ass. I'm gonna take my shoes back."
Yeah.
Which is Bronson Reed. He's been killing it with doing this Shulafala thing.
Yeah. So and he's got this tribal thief shirt. I'm gonna cop that shirt.
That's a good shirt. So I think that's pretty much what happened at the start of the show. Then we had a little like mid-card match. We had Dragon Lee versus JD McDonough. Basically a showing for Dragon Lee. We had Finn Balor. He was on the ringside. He got ejected like in the first minute of the match. And it's interesting because like in European crowds, like Finn Balor, obviously he's from the UK like European scene. Yeah. So like the crowd booed when he got ejected because like they just like him. They just like Finn because they want him to be there. But Dominic Mysterio came out. He tried to like interfere and to help JD win. Then AJ came out. AJ took him out. Overall, it just was a performance match for Dragon Lee to show why like he could possibly get into that Intercontinental scene once this feud finishes. So that was for Dragon Lee. Next, we had Penta versus Kofi Kingston.
I don't know why Penta's been beefing with the New Day. I mean, there hasn't really been nothing much for
So,
him.
In my opinion, why I think they're doing that is because they have Penta's brother on the other show who's doing nothing, Rey Fenix. I think eventually they're going to try to do a Lucha Bros versus the New Day, which is like a match that people have been wanting to see for years, to be honest, because that like on the indie scene and in the other promotion, AEW, like Lucha Bros were the best tag teams in the world. And we get to see New Day, who is obviously the New Day is one of the greatest tag teams ever. And when they want to put it on, they'll put it on.
Yeah.
So that's why I think like that's what it's building towards too. But to keep this feud going, because like if Penta just keeps beating the New Day, the feud's gonna like die out. We had Kofi Kingston actually pick up a rare win against Penta, so that's pretty much gonna be leading to that. Next, we had Becky Lynch versus Nikki Bella. Well, not versus, but call out.
Yeah.
Basically, it was them leading up to their match in Clash in Paris. But we had an interesting thing that happened on this promo, which is
the Ozzy Osbourne.
Ozzy Osbourne thing.
Oh,
so let's talk about.
So sad.
So this is interesting. WWE used like a basically cheap heat to get to this match. I know Becky's a heel, but like that, I feel like that was a little like I don't know. People definitely in UK expected that in Birmingham because that's where he's from.
Yeah.
So basically, I'll read you guys what the line said. She basically said the only good thing that came out of here in Birmingham it died a month ago, and basically insinuating Ozzy Osbourne. And the comment basically got crazy backlash. Even got TMZ news and all that stuff.
I think Shannon Osbourne was like, "Yo,
Sharon Osbourne,
Sharon." She was like, "Yo, why you calling out my dad like
exactly?"
That? Like, oh,
and man. It was like, oh, and then I think WWE definitely like issued an apology for it.
Yeah.
They had to because that was a little poor taste. I know WWE likes to like play the lines with some of that stuff, but that was definitely poor.
Especially since he was beloved by WWE too.
Exactly, he was a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
it's so funny. And the thing is, like, maybe like I don't know what like who the writer did it or Becky Lynch thought of it, but like it was a little like insensitive because it just happened.
Yeah,
the family's still grieving too, so. That's that situation. Next, we had Rhea Ripley versus Roxanne Perez. And with the storyline with that is basically with Io involved as well, her feuding with the Kabuki Warriors. And it's just Rhea and Io are trying to team up, but Asuka and Kairi don't like it. And we had Rhea Ripley basically get the win because she's going to... I don't think she's ever going to really lose matches until it's like actually to someone that's worthy and prominent. But that's with that match. And then we had AJ Styles versus Finn Balor.
Yeah.
At a time, this was a match that everybody wanted to see, but it sucks that we're kind of see like AJ Styles and Finn Balor. We're like, just another match. But at the time, these two were one of the top 5 wrestlers in the world.
It was so exciting to see that they were fighting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now it's just like whatever match. We had a good back and forth match because AJ and Finn, like they're just two good wrestlers where they can't ever have a bad match. And ultimately, AJ won with the Styles Clash. He's been winning with the Styles Clash now, which is good because that was his original finisher instead of the phenomenal forearm, which is like it's just a forearm to the head. I like the Styles Clash as better as a finisher for him. That was that match. And then we ended the show with Braun Breaker versus LA Knight. Ultimately, we knew that this match wasn't going to have like a winner because we have this feud going on for the Fatal 4-Way match. During the show, we had Roman Reigns and Jey Uso in a backstage segment where Jey Uso was contemplating, like, what do I do in this? Like, who's my friends in this match? And Roman Reigns basically just told him, whatever you do, don't trust CM Punk and do it for yourself.
Yeah.
So we had Braun Breaker and everybody feuding. We had Seth Rollins come out, and they were all feuding and having a brawl. It basically led to a 3-way brawl between CM Punk, Jey Uso, and LA Knight. CM Punk and LA Knight have been really having, like, this, like heating up tension and finally, like, broke off. And then we see Jey Uso, who took out LA Knight. But he also took out CM Punk, which basically is insinuating that he's going to be everyone's all for themselves in this match. That's pretty much the show. It's basically leading up to Clash in Paris.
To Paris, basically, yep.
We're going to go jump right into Clash in Paris, the predictions for this show. So Clash in Paris is live from Paris. What the interesting thing with this show is it's back in France. Last time WWE was in France, the crowd was insane.
Phenomenal, yeah.
It was in Lyon.
Yeah.
And I think WWE said that was their best crowd they had in years, like forever. Again, WWE's been going all over the place. But Lyon, France, when that show happened, apparently like local like police was being called in the stadium because they thought like it was earthquake or something was happening because how much they were shaking the building.
That's crazy.
Because of their like literal noise and their movement. And we're going to have it in Paris, which is a bigger stadium than they were in Lyon.
It's the main city in France.
Exactly. So like, people that were at that Lyon show is going to probably travel to France, to Paris for the show. Expect that energy to be electric. However, this is a B-level show.
Yeah.
This is not a very important show, but the crowd could make this an A-level show.
Yeah.
And that's the interesting thing. The crowd plays so much of a factor. And the thing is, like, we don't get that benefit in the States. Like, sometimes we get hot crowds, but like they're not compared to anything like Europe.
They're not like consistently hot.
Exactly.
You know?
Let's start off with the predictions. So first match we have is Becky Lynch versus Nikki Bella.
I think Becky Lynch
I think this is just going to be a feud where it's just over. Becky Lynch is going to get the win. It's just a match for Nikki Bella because I guess she just wants to do side quests. She wants to fight again.
Yeah.
But overall, that's what it's going to be. Finally, we have not possible. It's got to be their last match. Sheamus versus Rusev in the good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. It was basically a no-holds-barred match. Anything goes. No disqualification.
I think Rusev is going to cast.
I think Rusev needs to win this so he can like get
do
into
something
that,
else,
do something else, and get it to maybe that Intercontinental scene. But also, I wouldn't be surprised if Sheamus wins it.
Yeah.
And
this is going to be a banger after banger match.
Banger after banger match. It's going to be hard hitting.
Yeah.
You know, these guys are buddies. We know what happens when buddies fight each other. It's very hard hitting.
It's always a good match when friends fight each other.
That's why I think this honestly could possibly be Sheamus and Rusev's like best match they had because they've had solid matches on Raw, but this has got to be their best match because of the implications of weapons and everything in the outside environment. But
Shillelagh.
Shillelagh. But I think Sheamus is going to win it. In my opinion, why I think Sheamus is going to win it is because he's done everything in the WWE. His last goal is to win that IC title.
This is Grand Slam champion.
Yeah, he needs to. He's been talking about it for years. He wants to win the IC title. He gets away from this feud and moves on to the IC title feud. And the reason why I think it can work is because if Dom retains against AJ whenever they have their next match, it's simple. Sheamus versus Dom, face versus heel, and Sheamus could finally get that title.
I think ultimately whoever wins, whoever WWE decides to go with, is going to get that opportunity to do it.
Whoever wins this match is going to move on to the IC title scene for sure.
Yeah.
Next, we have Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed. Now, this is interesting. This is Roman Reigns' first match in a long time where it's one-on-one, a singles match, but he's not even involved in the main event. So he's going to be probably in the beginning of the show or middle of the card. And it's going to be... Thing is, like, Roman Reigns, I feel like if he's not...
I think they're going to open up the show.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if he's not starting, he's gonna. I mean, if he's not ending, he's gonna start.
Yeah,
but
I think he's gonna win.
This is gonna be the first ever in a long time where it's a singles match and it's not like very like prominent match where it's like you gotta watch this match. But the thing is,
just regular
match for Roman Reigns, and I think obviously it's. I know they want to push the new faction, the Vision, but it's Roman Reigns in Europe. They love him. And I think Roman Reigns gets this W.
I agree. Yep.
He gets the win, and then he goes off to go film Street Fighter.
No, I think he's gonna get involved in the World Heavyweight Championship match, which we'll discuss shortly.
Okay. So, but overall, if the match has no like shenanigans or anything, I think Roman Reigns wins it.
Yeah. I agree.
But if Braun Breaker comes out earlier, costs him the match, which I can see.
Yeah,
I can see
he's not going to be tonight. Either,
exactly, but that depends on. But then again, that goes back to your thing. Then why would Roman Reigns interfere? Because Braun Breaker cost him the match.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that's what I can definitely see happening. So I wouldn't be surprised if Bronson Reigns picks up a win with the help of Braun Breaker. But overall, if it's a clean match, Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Next, let's talk about John Cena versus Logan Paul. Could be the show stealer.
Yeah, but if I'm gonna go with the prediction here, I don't think Brock Lesnar is gonna get involved.
I don't think Brock Lesnar.
I think John Cena's gonna win this.
And I think John Cena for sure is gonna win this match. I think Logan Paul, he's gonna bump around for him. He's gonna make John Cena look good.
Yeah.
Because Logan Paul, no matter what anybody says, he is a good wrestler.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing in that ring.
It's gonna be a short match though.
It's gonna be a short match, probably like max 10 minutes. I think. I think it's gonna be fast. It's gonna be a fast-paced match where John Cena's gonna be in and out. Logan Paul always does what he does. He's gonna do a big move. I don't know what he's gonna do on this. He always does a frog splash into the table, but I'm very curious to see because this is he's fighting John Cena, and
he's got to do something to make himself more prominent.
Right, which he does always. Yeah. But this is going to be interesting because I don't think he's going to do the similar frog splash that he always does. It's got to be.
Well, he's always done like obviously the
moonsault
against LA Knight, and then the moonsault off the right into the table against Jey Uso.
Yeah, so like it's got to be something crazy.
Yeah,
I'm very curious to see what it is because Logan Paul, he's an influencer at heart, so he's always looking for a moment.
But he's a really good wrestler.
He's a good wrestler, but he's always looking for a moment, and this is where you're facing one of the greatest of all time. You want to have that moment.
I agree, yeah.
So overall, though, I think John Cena wins that match.
I agree.
And then we get to the main event, which is the World Heavyweight Championship, the Fatal 4-Way, which is Seth Rollins versus CM Punk versus Jey Uso versus LA Knight.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think?
Seth Rollins is going to win. He just won this title.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins is going to win this match. I don't think it's really a debate. I think there's going to be a lot of shenanigans because it's Fatal 4-Way. There's a lot of anything goes and no disqualification.
I think Jey Uso takes the pin.
Yeah. LA Knight is in that match. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes it too because you know how much.
It's going to be one of those two.
It's one of those two. It's not going to be CM Punk.
You never know. Here's what I think's going to happen. I think Jey Uso is going to spear somebody. I think CM Punk. If LA Knight gets the pin, I think CM Punk's going to GTS Jey Uso. LA Knight.
So you think there's gonna be a finisher spam to the end?
Yeah, okay. Pretty much.
All right, I could see that happening, like a finisher spam where
and possibly the Braun Browns get involved.
They gotta get involved because they're a group, like,
and it's no disqualification.
And then that's where it could possibly lead to Roman getting his help and basically taking out the Braun Browns while they get help.
Yeah. So
Roman is occupied there, and then we're back again in the middle of the full with those four. I could definitely see like LA Knight somehow like ends up on top. With Seth Rollins being to the side, like, let's say Jey accidentally spears CM Punk, takes him out. LA Knight hits the BFT on Jey Uso, and then
Seth Rollins comes out of nowhere.
Stomps him.
Oh, yeah, I can see that too.
I can see that. Yeah. So, and that's where I think that's pretty much the show.
Yeah.
It's a B-level show, but they're building to their bigger show which is happening at the first ever show on ESPN.
Yeah, WrestlePalooza.
WrestlePalooza in Indianapolis.
Yep.
That's going to be an insane show because we have a lot of rumors of everything's going to happen. We think John Cena and Brock's going to be on that show. We think Cody and Drew's going to be on that show. Many more, to be honest, because it's WrestlePalooza. It's their big show on ESPN. You never know. The Rock might even make a debut on that, not debut, but return.
Yeah.
But let's see what it goes because WrestlePalooza is their next big show. It looks like they're probably going to treat WrestlePalooza bigger than Survivor Series at this point because of how important it's going to be. But now going forward, this is their last show on Peacock, which is great because now I can cancel my Peacock subscription because I don't fucking use Peacock anything else besides WWE. So Peacock, goodbye and welcome to ESPN. I'll give you a little fill-in about the ESPN. So now anybody that already has cable or whatever it is and ESPN in their providers, you're getting the shows for free.
So is it going to be on
It's going to be on ESPN.
Is it going to be on live television?
Live television on ESPN.
Also going to have commercials and shit then.
Yes. But
no time limit though.
With time limits, but the thing is, I don't know.
Time limit.
I don't know. That stuff they haven't really dug it out yet.
Okay.
We don't know for sure if it's going to be ESPN without commercials for sure. Or
what if it's ESPN and UFC where it's on ESPN Plus or something like that?
It could be, but the thing is, they said it's not going to be like that because you don't have to pay a premium to get the show.
I got you.
But for me, hopefully they get a deal done. YouTube TV, I have YouTube TV, and they have to partner with ESPN and WWE to get that deal done where we can have the shows. And the same thing, I'll join that group or in the Cablevision people where it's okay, I got the show for free. But that's what's going on with WrestlePalooza. We have all those shows going forward on ESPN. That's pretty much the wrestling recap this week because we're building towards Clash in Paris.
Yep.
And then we're on the road to WrestlePalooza, which is the next big show. It's going to be filler for the next few weeks. And that's how it is towards this part of the year in wrestling. Yeah. That's pretty much our wrestling recap for this week.
We'll see how it goes.
All right, guys. It's time for our favorite segment of the week that we have every other week, the Sideline Heel Take. So this week, my Sideline Heel Take is going to be talking about NFL related. So obviously, we have the NFL season coming up. So I want to talk about NFL fandom. So in my opinion, we have soccer, which also known as football around the world.
Football.
Which people love around the world. And people always talk about how crazy their fans are, how insane their fandom is, which I totally agree. But maybe me being biased or maybe me just being around it so much more, living in America, I think that the NFL fans are crazier and more loyalty and everything, just a better fan base than soccer fans. And I'll give you my reasons why I think that is. Let's talk about number one. Every game is a huge event. So the NFL only has 17 regular season games and then plus playoffs. So soccer has soccer matches or soccer leagues. They have 30 to 40 matches a season or a year, they call it, and making some of their games feel meaningless because they play people at the bottom of the divisions or whatever it is.
That doesn't also include
friendlies or whatever
tournaments and
exactly
the UEFA Championship.
And that's why I think every game is big to them. Every game feels like a Super Bowl to the NFL fans because every game matters. And it's all about positioning in the NFL. And the thing is, when it comes to soccer, usually what happens is their best players, their best teams, they're always on top because of their teams. But with the NFL, it's so unpredictable that you'll have all these different fan bases wanting to be oh my God, I never expected my team to be this good this year, and they make a huge jump. And that's where I could see it. Next, let's talk about a big thing that happens at NFL stadiums is tailgating culture.
Everybody loves tailgating.
This is a big thing in the U.S. So tailgating culture is basically celebrating the game before it even happens in the parking lots or wherever. People could technically consider tailgating at your own backyard.
People, what's crazy is people tailgate at games without even going to the game.
Exactly. And we notice all the time. We live in New York, we go to MetLife games, and people just don't even pay. They pay for a parking pass to even chill in the parking lot. Granted,
I'm sure it's fun, but it's relatively annoying where you got to park mad far and you got all these people that don't go to the games that, that's the only thing that's a little...
Right.
But I'm not questioning tailgating at all. It's really fun.
So in my opinion, let's talk about this. Soccer has pre-match rituals, but NFL tailgating is unmatched in my opinion. They have the grilling, they have the drinking, they have the cornhole, they have community cookouts, and it's all before hours of kickoff, which is probably the exciting part that they look for every Sunday.
Yeah.
So stadium parking lots such as the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, Green Bay Packers, these are known to be like crazy parking lots where you go to just tailgate, and they turn it into like mini festivals every week. And that's why I think that's another big factor why the NFL fan base is more prominent than the soccer fan base. Let's talk about number 3, weather conditions. Everybody knows that the NFL fans, when the weather gets crazy, the fans get crazier. So let's talk about soccer matches really get postponed in extreme weather. Like they don't play sometimes. When it's like raining and drizzling, they still play. But if it's like heavy downpour, they're not going to play.
No, they're going to play.
They're going to postpone that game if they can. Like when it comes to like any like crazy like whatever weather situation. But when it comes to the NFL games, we've seen it play in snowstorms. We've seen them play in blizzards. We've seen them play in pouring rain and in negative-degree freezing cold. Fans still show up in sub-zero temperatures, shirtless, and screaming for 3+ hours. NFL fans are insane.
I agree.
Like, listen, I like the cold, but I'm not sitting my ass in November in New York City, December, at the stadium games. Like, we always want to go to games towards this time, but like it's so cold that it makes us debate, like, should we even go? But there's fans that are crazier than us that would, no problem, they'll go shirtless. They'll go without anything on them. And they'll just go and have a good time.
They'll drink their heart's content out.
Exactly, and they won't even feel shit after. Yeah. So let's talk about the next part, which is the stadium noise and the impact on the game. In my opinion, I think the NFL fan base is the biggest fan base where they can actually affect the game.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you reasons why. NFL fans regularly cause penalties like false starts, delayed snaps by being too loud. Like we see it all the time, and the announcers always talk about it. Like players are trying to communicate to each other. There's so much going on. We all know about how crazy the play calls are.
The silent count too.
Exactly, and the quarterbacks are trying to hear the plays. The mics are on the defense are trying to hear the plays. They can't hear it because of how crazy it is. For example, what was the big thing that started with it is the Seattle 12th man.
Yeah.
Seattle literally thinks that there is a 12th man on the field because of their team. It's their marketing and their basically their team is built around that. The 12th man, everything there is. They basically, like in Seattle, they literally register on the seismographs because of how insane and how crazy.
With Arrowhead too.
Exactly, because of how insane their fan base are. People dread to go to certain stadiums to even play because of how crazy the fan base can be.
I agree.
And you know for sure, coaches and whatever staff, they circle that game like, oh guys, we gotta get our communication really good for this game because we know where we're going. And then soccer atmospheres, they're loud, their chants are heavy, they have the most interesting chants ever. They create the funnest chants, I'll tell you that much. But they rarely directly change in what happens on the field, in my opinion, because the soccer players are always locked in and they know what's going on. Like they're basically playing, they have a game plan, but they're playing to whatever is going on the field.
Yeah.
Because you can't really control like a player just standing on one side. There's no set positions where players have to be. That's why anything can happen. They're going with the flow of soccer most of the time. That's why I think the NFL game gets more impacted because of the fan base interrupting it based on their noise. And then the last thing I want to talk about is basically the ending of this argument, where if you value intensity, if you value weather toughness, and you value game day rituals, I think the NFL fans have the edge over the soccer fans. But to be on the other side, if you value global scale, if you value singing traditions, if you value sheer numbers, like a lot of people are stat people were like, oh my God, like, yeah, soccer is better, more watched around the world, which is true. There's no really debate about that. Then the soccer fans win. But I think if you ask anyone that lives in America, they're going to go for NFL. And honestly,
soccer is just a more global game.
Exactly. But we see the NFL reaching to different areas globally. Yeah. And they are trying to prove to themselves like our sport and our fan base can be global. Yeah. And we've been seeing it every year, depending like with all the new locations.
Flag football around the world too.
And we have the Olympics where they're going to be introducing football.
Flag football.
Flag football, which is going to be a game changer. It's going to show why again the Americans are the best athletes in the world because of how they can do anything on the court and on the field. So that's my sideline heel take for this week. And I'll let Farden go off with his sideline heel take this week, and I'll let you have the sideline heel take belt.
Yes. So like Fayez, I'm going to reiterate my sentiment about the NFL this season, and I'm going to talk about system quarterbacks, and I'm going to give you my overrated quarterbacks in my opinion. So the definition of a system quarterback, if you don't know what it is the coaching staff makes the team go. Yeah. That's basically the ideal definition of it. at the end of the day, all coaches got a game plan for every team that they face on a week-to-week basis. They got to come up with plays. Obviously, some defenses are better than most defenses. Yep. They got to come up with plans to, I guess, execute them. And they feed it to the quarterback, and the quarterback's got to do what they have to do. Some of these quarterbacks, you think about, honestly, people can say, hey, all quarterbacks are system quarterbacks at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If you, like, for example, if you swap Patrick Mahomes and you put him on, like, the Saints, for example. Obviously, the Saints aren't really known for, but if you put him on the team, he'll have great numbers still.
Yeah.
You know, at the end, obviously, if the quarterback goes, the whole team goes at the end of the day.
Right. But we've definitely seen in the NFL where those things have been proven wrong.
I agree. Yeah.
Which, for example, one of the greatest of all time, Tom Brady, people thought it was systematic. He went to the Buccaneers and won.
Yeah. So, in my opinion, I'm going to give you guys my top 5 most overrated quarterbacks in the league.
This is going to be good.
And I'm going to go from the bottom 5 up. So
I'm going to see if I agree to these. Let's see.
Okay, so number 5, I'm going to go with Jared Goff.
Okay.
Jared Goff.
I agree.
He can prove me wrong this year if he can...
If they repeat their performance.
If they repeat their performance, then we can say, okay, this is a Jared Goff thing versus possibly a Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson, yeah.
So... at the end of the day, if Jared Goff goes, the team's going to go. I feel like he's one of those system quarterbacks where if he learns a new system and he can utilize it and he fully develops it, then that basically says, like, hey, he's not really a system quarterback. Number 4 on my list, I'm going to say Brock Purdy. I've never believed in Brock Purdy, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah,
and the only reason why I'm saying this is because Kyle Shanahan is a really phenomenal coach. He had Jimmy G take him to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and he basically had the same team as Brock Purdy.
But you can't agree for Brock Purdy. The Niners have been hurt a lot.
Yeah,
they have been, and he doesn't have weapons. That's the thing. Like CMC is just he hasn't been available. Brandon Ayuk hasn't been available. Deebo Samuel wasn't available. It's hard with the Niners. They're very tough to say that with the Niners because Brock Purdy, he did win them games. He did go undefeated for a while. I
agree, but I also think he's one of
systematic.
He's just a systematic quarterback. If you switch him on a different team, doesn't mean that he'll do great. You know what I mean? Like if you put him on the Jets per se, and I'm not saying I want him on the Jets, but if you swap teams, I'm sure Justin Fields can do something because he has Kyle Shanahan as a coach. Obviously, we don't know what Aaron Glenn and Tanner Engstrom will do with Justin Fields.
Yeah.
But I ultimately think that Brock Purdy, if you swap teams from a team that doesn't really have that system established, I don't think he'll do great.
Okay.
And basically, my argument here is the system makes the quarterback. Yeah. And if you swap systems, the quarterback's not going to do well. Mm-hmm. Number 3 on my list is Tua Tagovailoa.
Okay.
I think, obviously, the main thing here is when he got hurt last year, the team didn't really perform well.
Yeah.
That's the only argument.
We expected that, though.
Right. But if you, like I said, you switch him onto a different team, can he do the same production? Mm-hmm. Obviously, he doesn't have Tyreek Hill. He doesn't have Jalen Waddle. He doesn't have Devon Achane.
Yeah.
So if you swap teams like to another team, Tua Tagovailoa is going to be like, I wouldn't consider him a starter, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Number 2, I know we've talked about this, Jalen Hurts.
Oh, God.
Listen, I like Jalen Hurts. I think he's a great person, but I also think he falls under the system of who he plays with and how he also plays.
And I don't disagree with the system because he's obviously Nick Sirianni is a good system.
Yeah, but I just feel like if he had something else going for him, he didn't have AJ Brown, he didn't have Devontae Smith, doesn't have fucking Saquon Barkley, will he be the same quarterback? I don't know. That's just my number 1. And I'm going to say this because I don't think it's just more of a system thing. I think it's basically the players who made them. And I'm going to say this again, like, for example, like in the past, I think Jerry Rice made Joe Montana. Jaden Daniels, I think he's the most overrated quarterback in the NFL.
As a rookie?
As a rookie.
He just came off the rookie season.
Listen, I know he just made the NFC Championship, but I discredit the fact that most of what he accomplished was because of Terry McLaurin, was because of whoever was on his team. Obviously, he doesn't have anybody outside of Terry McLaurin, and when he wasn't on the field, he didn't really produce well. Obviously, he had big throws, but if you think about it, for example, the Cowboys throw he had where I believe Joe Davis was on the call for Fox. He was like, lightning strikes twice. Bro, he just threw it to a wide open Terry McLaurin. He just ran the distance.
Yeah.
He also had a Hail Mary play where he just threw it up in the air, it got deflected, and then the defender caught it. And then he made it to the championship game. The only thing that I will say is he has the potential to be great.
Yeah.
He has like really great upside. And he obviously proved a lot of people that he had the greatest rookie season of all time.
Yeah.
But I think this year, I think the Commanders are going to struggle, and I think he's going to like basically have a sophomore slump, so to speak.
So if you for example, if you think the Commanders repeat their same performance, would you still think he's overrated if he repeats it? Because it's kind of hard to say that.
That's the thing. It's going to be the if statement. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, my top 5 is going to be Jared Goff, Brock Purdy, Tua Tagovailoa, Jalen Hurts, and Jaden Daniels. I think those are guys.
I agree with 4 of them. I'm not putting Jaden Daniels in there yet because he just had a great year.
I agree. Yeah.
I can't do it. But the only person I will replace on your list, Kyler Murray.
Okay.
I will put Kyler Murray there instead of Jaden
Daniels. The only
reason
why I did not put Kyler Murray on this list because he hasn't like performed on like a big stage yet. He hasn't made the playoffs.
Exactly.
But
the thing is, like, whose fault is that he hasn't made the playoffs?
He's not a system to play under, though.
Right. But now, like, I feel like people do think that Cardinals is supposed to make a run. Like, they're supposed to get better.
They should make a run.
But it goes with Kyler.
He needs to perform really well.
He needs to do good this year, or I think Kyler Murray is going to lose a lot of fans.
Yeah, and he got paid a lot of money, too.
And I think that if Kyler Murray doesn't perform this year, he's going to probably they're going to look for something different.
An honorable mention, Dak Prescott.
Yeah, Dak Prescott's always like all over the place.
He's like the S tier of overrated. Yeah.
He's the S tier of mid.
I agree, yeah. But that basically wraps up my sideline he'll take. We'll see how the NFL sees. Maybe I'll eat my words at the end of the season. Who knows? But
right.
We'll see how it goes. We're going to be started. It's an exciting year for everybody.
Yep.
Exciting time for everybody.
Yep.
Sundays are going to be lit. Mondays are going to be lit. We have college football starting again.
Yep.
Best time of the year, in my opinion.
Exactly. That wraps up our episode for this week. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.